Hi guys, it's Triple C. Today I'll be talking about Zenfone 7. Other than the basic review itself, I'll be telling you a little bit more about its quirks and some of its features based on my experience with it for the past 1 month. So I'm actually recording with the Zenfone 7 right now. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, we'll start with the box. The box itself, it's really nice. Zenfone 7, a huge 7 right in the middle. Zenfone 7 on the side, ASUS on the top, and then there's some stuff in the back. Let's check it out. The models, model number. Isn't too much information in the back. Let's get right into the inside. I'm recording with the Zenfone 7 itself, so the phone is not in here right now, but just let me show you what's actually in here. So start off on the side. I think it's nicely made. They makes it feel pretty premium. It just says flip camera. All right, that's its key feature. So the side, you open up, it has a quick charger. It's a 30-watt quick charger. See if you can see the specs right there, 30-watt quick charger. And then a USB Type-C to Type-C cable for the charger. Actually, that was it. And on this side, we open it up. Underneath, the phone will be there. And in here there is a SIM card release pin. And then inside of here, there are 2 cases that came with the phone. There's the black one, and here's the clear hard case, like this. And then another one of those stickers and some user manual and stuff. Really not much in the box. They made the box real nice, but there's not much stuff in it. Well, the hard cases. Well, let's talk about these. So here's the Zenfone 7. Looks real nice. Before we get into the phone, let's talk about the cases. I'm currently using a soft case that I got someplace else, but the phone itself comes with 2 cases. One is the hard case, it's a hard plastic case, which I question the decision on including this one. I mean, other than it's clear, you can still see the designs and everything. It's not really protecting much of anything. I have one of those screen protector on, and then yeah, it's not anywhere taller than the phone itself. So it's not protecting the front, and then you can easily see the back camera sticking out anyway, so it's not protecting the back. So I don't really get it. What's the point of this hard case anyway? Here's the dark one. It looks real nice. It's got the designs in the back. It says ASUS Zenfone. This feels pretty premium. So this one makes a little bit more sense, but it has a little locking mechanism in the back to hold the camera in place, and then that little locking mechanism also works with the phone itself. So if you try to open it, it will tell you that it's locked right now. You need to release it before you can flip the camera. So once you release it, you can flip the camera. Hey, check out Winnie the Pooh. Anyway, so yeah, the case, it's kind of nice, but it's still, I question the decision. This is really weird. First of all, the side, it's very slippery. I actually dropped the phone already once. Broke my screen protector, not the screen, but that's all because the side are too slippery. Look at this, it's so slippery. Why can't they make the same material as the button or something else that can actually help you with the grip? The phone itself is not light, it's very top heavy, so when you're holding the phone, it does feel very heavy. So when you try to grab it or change positions in your hand, you might easily drop it. It depends. If you're not careful enough, like I did, you drop it. So I did. If you can see here on the top, there's already some damage. Good thing that I had a screen protector, otherwise that screen would have been gone. yeah, so it's nice for them to include those case. They look real nice, but I question the decision of including cases that doesn't really protect your phone, which is kind of weird. So I went online and then trying to find a nice case for the phone. There are very, very limited choices because the ASUS Zenfone 7 is released here in Taiwan, obviously. I think they have a bigger release in India, some part of Europe. I think that was it. It's not released in stores in America, North America for that matter, and many other countries. So there isn't enough cases and accessories available for the Zenfone 7. So anyway, going online, actually not the best idea because you wouldn't know what the case might be like. So far, I think the Rhino case would be the best choice, but that makes the phone extremely thick, so I didn't like that. Went to local shops, found this one. This one works pretty good, I like it. It protects the corners, and then it's tall enough to protect the camera, and it's high enough to go over the screen protector on the surface. So far, this is the one I'm using. So the phone design itself, as you can see when I'm taking the covers off, the back it's got that design. You can see different colors depending on the angle that you're looking at it. It's supposed to look kind of green. Well, the camera here doesn't seem to be picking that up, but you can tell the difference. It looks real nice. Sort of like bluish green kind of color. Anyway, that's really cool. The triple camera looks really nice. The triple camera setup is cool. Of course, the selling point will be the 90 Hz full screen touch display because the camera flips. So, hey, we need to pull it again. So the camera flips, therefore, you wouldn't need a front-facing camera, and you can enjoy the entire screen. This is the OLED screen at 90 Hz, so it's very smooth. Probably can't see here, but yeah, let me tell you, it's pretty smooth. The color is really good, the brightness is really good, and then yeah, overall it's a really good phone. But again, this beautiful design, you see, unless if you're using one of those Rhino cases, there's a good chance, as you can see here, the original case from the ASUS package, you don't see the protection on the top. The reason for that is obviously because there's a flip camera. This one here, it has a little protection here, but these ones don't, or most of them don't. So as a result, if you put this thing in your pocket, as most people would, and yeah, there will be damages. As you can see here, there are some scratches and damages there. It doesn't affect the mechanism of the flip camera, but it does make it look kind of ugly with those scratches and things on the top. The reason for this is because you put it in the pocket where there's keys or change and things like this. Yeah, it will scratch. So avoiding scratches in the pocket would be really difficult. So this phone, like I said, top heavy. You will have to have a screen protector. You will have to have a case. If you're trying to use this phone without these, I'm pretty sure it'll be pretty difficult. And all of that pretty design, yeah, it's kind of a waste. If you want to protect this phone, you're not going to be able to see the beautiful design in the back. So yeah, that's too bad. They got rid of the headphone jack. There is no headphone jack. So instead, USB Type-C. You can connect to a USB Type-C headphones or use a USB Type-C to USB, and then get one of those USB sound cards to work that way too. That's how I use it if I need a wire headphone. The camera, there's a button facing firing the speaker, there's a button firing speaker. The earpiece also makes sound, so technically it's stereo, but like its previous versions, the button firing microphone, it's much louder than the earpiece one. So yeah, but it does go loud. It sounds good. No complaints there. However, they got rid of the audio wizard. Audio wizard is ASUS's built-in sound equalizer. That thing worked so good with my previous phone, the Zenfone 5Z, but they got rid of it for this one. So yeah, unless if you get a third-party equalizer, or if you have a just really kick-ass headset or stereo system, audio come out of this thing by default might be a little bit flat. That's kind of too bad. Why couldn't they add that back in? It's a software thing. They really should just. I used the third-party equalizer for extra bass. It sounds okay, but it doesn't have the native control that it would with the ASUS's own software. So it's too bad for that one. So the Zenfone 7, this one here, it's a base model. It uses the Qualcomm X65 chip, which is one of the fastest. At the moment, X65. Anything faster would be the X65 Plus, which is in the ROG phone, the gaming phone. But otherwise, this is the flagship. It has a 6 GB of RAM, and then it has 128 GB of internal storage. So it's plenty, and it also supports SD card. You can put an SD card in it, up to 2 TB. Aside from those, yeah, it's really quick. It's a really quick phone. It supports 5G, which I supposedly have, as you can see there on the top. 5G here in Taiwan, they're still building, just like the rest of the world. So it's nice to have now, but yeah, I wouldn't feel too amazed about 5G at the moment. But it does support it, since it's the X65 chip, which is nice. The rest is spec here. Really good phone. When you are gaming, it does still have the Game Genie software built in. So the Game Genie software can control the brightness. You can customize and lock your brightness. You can tell it to not receive any phone calls, not receive any notifications, so nobody bothers you. And yeah, this one I tell it to display some of the gaming information, including CPU and GPU temperature, battery status, and its usage, as well as its frames per second at the moment. So it's a useful information if you want to pay attention to its temperature and its usage, things like this, and the battery level. And yeah, you can even disable things like talk, so you can talk or cannot talk. Here's the refresh rate. Yeah, so you can tell it to max optimize the system before you game, and some of the other functions, including recording, including streaming. So there's a lot of things you can. There's a lot you can do with the flip camera. At first, it was just kind of a novelty thing. You can flip it to the front like this. You can flip it back. Yeah, a lot of people think maybe it's just some kind of gimmick, but really it isn't. It can do all kinds of interesting things, like this photo here. You can easily flip it to the front and know exactly what kind of picture you're taking. You don't have to get onto the other side. You can record videos this way. You can record videos that you're seeing the front and then ask it to flip to the other side if you want to talk to it. You can do micro adjustments with the volume knob, so you can move it a little bit more, right? And then you can have it go all the way if you like it. And then they got some presets, so you can quickly have it go up to a certain point. That's halfway. That's 45-degree angle, for example. That's a little bit over to the other side to 45-degree angle. So that kind of stuff, it's extremely useful. I found myself in the situation where I really just want to quickly record something or take a picture of something. I don't got a proper stand right at that moment, and I was able to just place somewhere, anywhere, place somewhere like this, and then the camera's in the angle, no problem. I just have it up to something, then I can be able to see what I want to see. Or if I had just have a look at myself, I can be able to do that too. And then because of it has a micro adjustment, so you can literally move it to a specific place that you want it to be and just do your recording this way. So the flip camera, it has so much applications other than taking picture of yourself, but you can also micro adjust it to take amazing videos and photos with it. The software, it's pretty good. It has all the features here. You can do the panorama photo really easily. Right now I'm in the panorama mode, right? So if you do it sideways, let's take one. Why not? So let's take one. Actually, let's take one like this. Here's the box. There's me again. Yeah, it does it for you. You don't got to worry about it. That's actually pretty nice. And the quality of it is really good. Since it has 3 cameras, it has a 64 megapixel main camera. The main camera, usually I just have it on 4x3 but not 64 megapixel. The 64 megapixel function itself disables some of the functionality. It does take really nice pictures, but it does it in a much slower way. So I don't necessarily enjoy it using the 64 megapixel. I mean, that's how long it would take to process the 64 megapixel image. However, it does look good. So most of the time, I have it at the 4x3, the next best thing. I'm not too sure what megapixel it's using for that, but this is really good quality on the standard non-64 megapixel way. Some of the other thing is recording. You can do anywhere from HD to full HD. HD means 720p to 1080p, 60 frame 1080p, 4K, 4K 60 frame, and the 8K 30 frame recording. You know, this video is not in 8K, so I'm not going to do any 8K footage in this video, but I'll do some test videos now, so afterwards I can upload it. You can check out the 8K recording and its quality for yourself if you like to. Right, and other things like it's supposedly you can follow a specific object if you would set it to be. So say this remote control again, and then if I set to follow this thing and it follows, and then if I move it, it will move the camera to follow it, to find it. So yeah, that's pretty cool, I suppose. And other features like slow motion. The slow motion is actually pretty amazing. Let me show you some stuff that I took on the slow motion. And then professional mode where everything is manual. It's got those modes too. So yeah. Oh yeah, there's a night mode. Night mode is really good. Here, let me show you some of the night mode that it can do. And the camera is pretty amazing. I was able to capture a moon in detail with a smartphone, and I'm pretty happy with that. It'll be the first time for me. So yeah, the Zenfone 7, it's very fast, and it also has a 5,000 mAh battery. That means running all day with all of those perks without having to worry about the battery running out. And that is very true. Even though the battery does drain pretty quickly because I have it on 90 Hz display all the time, but that doesn't matter. I mean, I don't got to worry about it until nighttime. And then because it comes with a 30-watt fast charge, charging the phone doesn't take too long, and then you can quickly charge the phone to enough juice to move on to. You don't have to have it at full charge at all times. It is, after all, 5,000 mAh battery. You said it. You can charge it to 4,000, 3,000. Doesn't matter as long as it's enough to move on with the day. Now, it does have some software features to protect your battery. You can set it to different performance. Here's some Chinese, but high performance, balance, power save, and you can customize some of the battery setups. If you want to have the Wi-Fi is on, Bluetooth on, you can switch between different things, what the brightness is, fresh rate, things like that. So there's a lot of options in battery, including some of the other battery features, such as you can set it in between certain times of the day that it doesn't do any charge, and then you can set it to when do you want it to be charged, so it can manage when it should be charged closer to the time that you want it to be charged. This way it doesn't have the battery at 100% full all the time, to protect the battery. It's got other functions too. The other functions includes, you can set it to, I only want to charge the battery at maximum of, say, 80%. That's all I'm going to need. And then if you don't charge it to 100% for the smartphone batteries, actually extend its lifespan. So those are some of the smart battery management options that the phone have to offer to ensure this 5,000 mAh battery is in good health and it will last a long time. The phone itself is shipped with the Android 10 at the moment. Hopefully they're going to have Android 11 soon, so you can check that one out. Usually they promise for 2 versions over, so Android 11, Android 12 can be expected. And yeah, as far as everything else goes, other than the optical stabilization on the camera, it's very much the same as the Zenfone 7 Pro. That's actually the reason that I chose the Zenfone 7 over the Pro version. First of all, it's cheaper, save a few bucks, and then the performance, it's almost the same other than the optical stabilization. But the phone does have software stabilization, and let me show you a few clips of my driving with a single suction cup, and yeah, it stables just fine. So I'm totally okay with the software stabilization. I think it works really well, and the wide angle quality is really good too. Yeah, so overall the Zenfone 7 is a really good phone. It's just unfortunate some of the business decisions. For example, it's not going to be available for most of the countries, so its accessories will be a little bit more difficult to come by. You're losing the options of beautiful cases. There isn't going to be any. Being top heavy, that means you have to be quite careful with the phone. You might easily, because you're holding to one end a bit too heavy, and drop the phone, which I did at one point. So the screen protector is necessary to have with this phone. At least I think so. If you want to avoid the accidental drops, they're so heavy you'll definitely crack the screen, I think. The Zenfone 6 already have the flip camera, and for the last 1 year of the Zenfone 6, I haven't heard any complaints about the flip camera. Everybody's so skeptical about the flip camera, but turned out to be really good quality, and this time they upgraded it. So I am confident that this flip camera, it's not going to just easily fail and becomes a problem with this phone. So far, it really is good quality. I don't see any signs of it degrading and things like that. Yes, it's only been a month, but as you can see, I'm not the most careful person with the smartphone, and I have dropped it once, and so far there is no problems. But there's some things that's kind of interesting. I mean, the flip camera, it's not really locked there. It really just went back there. So if you shake it hard enough, it will come out, but it'll bring itself back. It'll come out and it'll bring itself back. I guess it's okay, but it's not really a nice thing to happen all the time, right? Especially when you put in the pocket and things like this. So the other case, this one here, with a little locking mechanism, I think that's sweet. More cases should make with a locking mechanism. I was talking to smartphone accessory shops because I was looking for cases and I'm having a hard time finding any. The shop owner told me ASUS cases for Zenfone 7 is a lot more expensive than other Zenfone cases. So they're waiting to see if they should have more stock of the Zenfone 7 cases. It really depends because it costs more. So not only it costs more, the availability is not as good as other brands flagship. So yeah, I'm a little bit worried about them. Hopefully they can sell good enough to make it impact, any kind of impact, because the phone itself is so well made. There's some of the other things to consider about. For example, its size. It's not any bigger than its predecessor, but it is taller. So for pockets, it might stick out if you have really short pockets. But aside from that and the weight, I don't have any problem carrying this around. The camera unit being really tough, I don't have any worries of sticking into my pocket, and I think that's really good. Since it has an OLED screen, watching any sort of video on it, it's really vibrant and nice. This looks really good, and if you zoom in, yeah, that's really beautiful. I like that a lot. Unfortunately, I won't be watching anything on this other than examining what you just recorded or just some of the smoke clips. But having a really vibrant, nice looking screen, it's always a plus, not just for the video, for images too. So browsing websites, forums, images, yeah, it's very enjoyable with the Zenfone 7, especially when you have the entire screen at your disposal at the 6.67 inch. So I guess what's left to talk about is the power button. ASUS decided to put the fingerprint sensor right onto the power button. I suppose this is quite innovative, and in normal circumstances this works really well. You just hold it in your hand, that's it, locked in. And if you hold it with the other hand, locked in, that's nice. You leave it on the table, you just want to see what's going on, that's it, locked in, that's good. But those are not really the practical use, because when you pick up the phone, more often than not, you're going to touch that button here. So every time you touch it, it vibrates. And if it's a wrong fingerprint, it turns on the screen anyway. So it might trigger other things, like that note if I touch it, like this here, or some of the other things that it might trigger. Or if I just unlock, turn it off, accidentally press something, you know, some of these things. So your screen is on, it might trigger some stuff that you didn't want to. I think putting it on the side, while it's nice, but this so easily be accidentally touched, I don't know if it's practical. To me, it's still a lot better if the fingerprint sensor is right there. What you do with it is to unlock the phone. It doesn't need to be somewhere else. I mean, the fingerprint sensor there, or even on the screen, I don't know about screen, I never had one. I imagine putting it in the pocket, you might accidentally turn on too, but personally, I do think putting it in the back is the best location, because it's not that easy to accidentally touch it. You can easily avoid it if you want to, because usually they're curving a little bit and you got a case. You really have to reach for it to do it. But if it's on the side, it's really difficult to avoid it. And then they put it right in the center. There's a lot of, say, game controllers or tripods like the one I'm using that will hold the phone like this. So there's a lot of phone holder like that, it might not be easily used with the power button right in the center. But that's little complaints. I guess I get used to it. I'm not going to worry about it too much. So this is okay. Anyway, so yeah, that'll be all for this video. Hopefully those insights can help you understand what it's like to use the Zenfone 7. If you find it useful, if you wouldn't mind to subscribe my video, that would be great. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Take care.